whites only communities that are starting in Arkansas and Missouri. When you say no blacks allowed, that's fine, but just make sure that it also includes black inventions. So a couple of things that I don't want to see in these white only communities. If you're going to have a house, no home security system, okay? Just get you a German Shepherd and have him protect y'all. No home security system, okay? That was a black invention. Only stop signs in the white only communities. I don't want to see no traffic lights. Black man came up with that. Only stop signs for you guys. I don't want to see your little racist children playing with super soakers or eating peanut butter. Black and black, okay?
So when I hear talk of white-only towns, my first thought is, good luck. Not because we are angry, but because you'll still need us to survive. You don't want white-only spaces. You want white-only control with black, brown, and immigrant labor. You want white-only luxury with multicultural sweat. If you really want separation, real honest segregation, you stop interfering every time black people build something beautiful. The black dollar is $1 billion power. We've built before and we will again. But this time we demand peace.
By now you've probably already heard of that white supremacist village where they want to have a whites only town, and I want to encourage them to do this project. But then they're only allowed to do it if they only... But let's make it a challenge for them to push their extremist ideas even further to the extreme. Don't use any inventions, products, or materials invented by people of color. That means that their little town cannot have any streetlights. It can't have peanut butter. It can't have elevators with automatic doors. It can't have any modern computers, or I would go as far as to say cell phones, because black people or people of color own partial inventions on all of those things.
Family, by now you all have heard of the white only town. And family, people are actually questioning the people behind the white only town. Will they manage without the federal aid? Will they manage without the black innovations? The other day we saw the effects, in America of the mass deportations. Immediately these immigrants left the farms. We all saw what happened next. Most of these farmers lost a lot of farm produce and they went into major losses. And family, people are linking the same to the white only towns. What will they do without the black innovations? They are trying to push this fantasy of going back to the old days. When they think life was better, when segregation was in place. But here's the problem. This isn't the 1800s anymore. You can't build a town while ignoring the very foundations of modern society, many of which come straight from black genius, black labor, and black struggle. People online are already dragging this idea, and rightfully so. Some folks are laughing like, okay, good luck with no electricity, no traffic lights, no refrigeration, no modern farming equipment, because guess what? Black innovators created or perfected all of those things. So family, I want you all to watch this video as many people question them, with their white only town. If they'll manage that in 2025 without asking for federal aid and the support from black people. Family, let's watch this video. Once it's done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this video together, family.
So did y'all hear about the people that are moving to Arkansas? They want to build their own town. Stop it. So did you know also that now they are begging the government to help them? They want money for housing. They want money for food. I thought you were so above everyone and you can only be white to live here. Really? Use your whiteness and all that money that you claim you have and build your own town the way you said. No one cared. No one cared that you had that land, that you only wanted white people. You had to put in an application and they can deny your application because you weren't white enough and you weren't superior enough. Oh, really? So why do you need that same government to assist you, boo? That doesn't even make good common sense. And then they claim that they're so great at building and architecture and engineering, but they're not even qualified. If you look up the qualifications in their town, they don't match. So the only qualifications it looks like they have, I'm white.
Whites only communities that are starting in Arkansas and Missouri. When you say no blacks allowed, that's fine, but just make sure that it also includes black inventions. So a couple of things that I don't want to see in these white only communities. If you're going to have a house, no home security system, okay? Just get you a German Shepherd and have him protect y'all. No home security system, okay? That was a black invention. Only stop signs in the white-only communities. I don't want to see no traffic lights. Black man came up with that. Only stop signs for you guys. I don't want to see your little racist children playing with super soakers or eating peanut butter. Black and black, okay? Jelly sandwiches for your little racist ass kids. Only jelly, no peanut butter. No potato chips. I don't give it. You better pack celery in they damn lunch bags. No potato chips. If you need to dry your clothes, use a clothesline, okay? You are not allowed to use a clothes dryer. That is a black invention. If there's a fire, a bucket and some water, that's what you're allowed to use because the fire extinguisher was invented by a black man. If you have your little racist cookouts, no folding chairs. Sit your ass on the ground. Summertime. Don't want to see any AC units. Go to Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, get you a good fan. No AC units in the whites only community. If you go play golf with your little racist buddies, you better hit that bitch off the ground. You are not allowed to use golf tees. Black invention. If you're riding a horse, you want to go get your little racist horse and go on a little racist ride, you are not allowed to use a saddle. Sit your ass on that horse bareback, and I hope your nuts hurt. If you need to iron your clothes, iron them shits on the bed or on the floor. You are not allowed to use an ironing board. For all doors, they better be push and pull. You are not allowed to have a doorknob. Black invention. If you need to do something with your hair, comb it. You are not allowed to use a hairbrush. That is a black invention. You spill some on the floor, get you some good high absorbent paper towels and wipe that shit up. You are not allowed to use a mop. That is a black invention. And how about this? You're not allowed to wear shoes. You better find a good pair of sandals. Shoes, the modern day shoe technology was invented by a black man. That's right, I said it. And when you eat your little racist dinner at night, eat that shit on newspaper on the floor because you're not allowed to eat at the kitchen table, which is also a black invention. So enjoy your white communities. Just be in mind that if you don't want blacks there, make sure you don't have black shit there either.
I recently saw a viral video from a white content creator who claimed that white-only signs were being put up in Missouri. He said he didn't care about the reasoning behind it, that now's the time for people to speak up. Well, allow me to speak up too. Let's make one thing clear. Segregation was never the problem. White supremacy was. After slavery ended, black Americans built thriving self-sufficient communities. Oscarville, Seneca Village, Black Wall Street. And what happened? We circulated our own money, supported our own businesses, and we flourished until they burnt it down, drowned it, or seized it through their so-called laws. We were never afraid of being separate. We were afraid of being attacked for succeeding while being separate. Integration didn't save us, it diluted us, and it mostly benefited white folks. Because let's be honest, most black folks today don't sense a whiteness in their lives. I can go weeks, even months, without socializing with a single white person, and I'm just fine. The only reason we still interact is because we have to, for work, for survival, for systems that were never built for us. So when I hear talk of white-only towns, my first thought is, good luck. Not because we are angry, but because you'll still need us to survive. You don't want white only spaces. You want white only control with black, brown, and immigrant labor. You want white only luxury with multicultural sweat. If you really want separation, real honest segregation, you stop interfering every time black people build something beautiful. The black dollar is $1 billion power. We've built before and we will again. But this time, we demand peace. Our ancestors only fought to be included in spaces because they were locked out of resources. We don't want your acceptance. We want our autonomy. So if you want white-only towns, by all means, go build them. But this time, leave us alone while we build ours too. No burning, no bombing, no sabotage. Because separation can work, but only if your supremacy doesn't follow us into it.
Good morning, Grandma Bev here. Well, they finally did it here in Arkansas. Sharp County, Arkansas is building a white-only community. They don't want to live around black people at all. They don't want any minorities of any kind at all. I hope the people who live in Sharp County are never outside of their county, or when they need medical assistance or anything like that. God forbid a black doctor would come along and try to help them. God forbid they were in any kind of danger and a black person would come along and try to help them. I grew up in segregation. This is not new to me. It's just sad. It's sad to see people act so ugly and be so dismissive of God's creation. God made you just like he made me. And God said it was very good. And yet they want to live in their whites only community. But if we built a black only community, they'd, be all to have something derogatory to say about it. I say, let people who want to act and live like that, let them do it. Because those are, they're identifying who I don't want to be around. I don't want to have anything to do with anybody who would act that ugly and who follows this current leader and this current administration. I don't want to have anything to do with these kinds of people. They're disgraceful and they're shameful. And my heart goes out to my grandchildren because, see, I grew up in segregation. But my heart goes out to my grandchildren that now have to be aware of and experience this all over again. How sad that we are going backwards instead of forward in this country. And I live in Arkansas, but I'm not going to concern myself with the people in Sharp County because you know what? I have nothing in common with them and they have nothing in common with me. We do not worship the same God. We do not, I'm a Christian, but we don't worship the same God because my God does not tolerate that. My God says to love, to be kind, to have empathy. And these are not people who have those kinds of things. I'm glad they're identifying themselves. I'm glad to know who I need to avoid.
By now, you've probably already heard of that white supremacist village where they want to have a whites only town, and I want to encourage them to do this project. But then they're only allowed to do it if they only. But let's make it a challenge for them to push their extremist ideas even further to the extreme. Don't use any inventions, products, or materials invented by people of color. That means that their little town cannot have any streetlights. It can't have peanut butter. It can't have elevators with automatic doors. It can't have any modern computers, or I would go as far as to say cell phones, because black people or people of color own partial inventions on all of those things. If they want to use them, no phones. They can't have spices. They can't have pepper. They can't have any of their food delivered on a refrigerated delivery truck. They cannot have clothes dryers. I'm sure the list can be even longer. So drop in the comments other things that have been invented by a person of color that will not be allowed in that little white supremacist town.
White only communities. I said less than 72 hours ago, they are going to start shackling themselves in their own chains. And there's something that I feel like has been missed about this conversation. If we talk about the fascist on Jubilee, if we talk about the kooky guy in the Ozarks, and any number of commenters in my comment section, there's one thing I want you to notice. They are attention seeking. These are people looking for reactions. These are people looking for provocation because that is all that they know. The dude from the Ozarks looked at the reporter and was like, well, aren't you going to ask me if what I'm doing is wrong? Or something along those lines. Maybe even, well, do you think what I'm doing is wrong? Number one, foolish. They gave away their location. Number two, that is a provocateur. That is the only purpose. Other than they think that they can actually do this on their own, which in that case, they put themselves on their own plantation, which I find just comical as hell. In a country where you have the most privilege and most opportunity, this is what y'all do?
No black, no gay, and no Jewish people. That is the rule in this white-only town being built in Arkansas. Nope, this isn't 1950. It's happening right now in 2025 in the Ozarks. A group called Return to the Land has built what they proudly call a whites-only community on 160 acres in the Ozarks. They've got cabins, roads, fences, wells, community center, and even a private schoolhouse, all for people who pass their strict racial and cultural tests. To live there, you must be white with European ancestry, straight, Christian, and you cannot be black, Jewish, LGBTQ, or follow a non-European religion. They vet applicants with video interviews, and some are even asked to prove their ancestry. The founders, Eric Orwell and Peter Sears, say that they want to create a, quote, fortress for the white race. In their own words, you want a white nation, build a white town. Now, here's the thing. They're calling it a private membership association to dodge federal housing laws. Basically, they sell membership shares through a company called Wisdom Woods LLC. And rather than traditional deeds, which they claim makes them exempt from anti-discrimination laws like the Fair Housing Act. And shockingly, well, maybe not, there's already 40 people living on the site and hundreds more worldwide are applying. They say they have things like goat herding, homeschool programs, flute recitals, and even a white baby bounty, basically rewarding white females for having more children. And I saw one of their interviews, and even their dog is white. And get this, they're not stopping in Arkansas. They've already announced plans to expand into Missouri near Springfield. Now, civil rights groups like the NAACP and Anti-Defamation League and state officials are calling it what it is, a modern-day experiment in segregation, racism, and legal loopholes. Arkansas's Attorney General is investigating, but as of right now, this community is still operating, still growing, and still recruiting. This isn't just a hate group in the woods, you guys. It's a test case to see if they can build a future where civil rights laws don't apply, as long as they call it private. This is insane.
Family, the one thing that I am sure, there cannot be a white-only town in 2025 without the help of other people in America. They'll soon need the help of black people. They'll also need the help of Mexicans, and other immigrants in America. Family, it won't be easy for them. They think that this is the 1800s where they can push segregation easily. Right now, the most innovative people we know are black people. Do they mean they'll be not having, refrigeration and all these good stuff in 2025? Will they lack, fridges in their houses? Will they lack the innovations that come with black people? Will they have no modern farming equipment? Because guess what? Black innovators created or perfected all of these things. Even fellow white folks are stepping in and questioning. White people are also wondering and questioning them. Would you guys be able to manage without the help of other people? How are you gonna survive without using the inventions you keep benefiting from every single day? That's the irony. They're trying to create this so-called pure community, but their whole lives are built on black inventions and government aid. Their hypocrisy writes itself. Family, that is next to impossible. We are giving them a few months. They won't be able to survive without some of these innovations. They're trying to build an old white community of people who are rooting from European, people who are Christians, people who are not gays, and they are very, very intentional with their community. But the funny thing is that we are sure 100% that they'll need help from Black people and other races in America. Let's look at this from an historical angle. And let's not forget that forget the history here in America. Every time in America's past, when certain white communities tried to cut themselves off and create these utopias, they ended up needing the same federal aid, infrastructure, and resources they love to complain about. You know, they ended up needing these resources and the federal aid, you know. Meanwhile, Black people, even when building their own thriving towns, like Tulsa's Greenwood District, you remember the Blackwell District, you know, that was taken down by white people, got attacked and burned down because the system couldn't handle Black independence. The double standard is loud and clear. Family, when we look at this from an historical angle, just like you've had, anytime Black people want to build their own communities, white folks tear these communities down. You know, you remember the Tulsa, you know, massacre. They were trying to get rid of Black people with their Black community. We are seeing some of the survivors of these massacre from 1921 are still struggling to get reparations from the American government. The last group of Black people who tried to build their own community, and that felt like a threat, you know, to the white supremacists. We all know it is next to impossible. They still need, you know, the Black people's support. So my question is this: why are they so afraid of diversity when diversity is literally what built America? Black labor built the wealth. Black brilliance power the technology, and Black culture continues to shape the identity of America itself. Without us Black people, what exactly do you have left? A town where you're pretending to be self-sufficient while secretly you all are depending on the same systems and innovations you claim to reject. You know, it's next to impossible. There is no way they can be able to come up with a town without the need and support of Black people. That is impossible. America itself was built by Black folks. The innovations you see today in America is thanks to slavery, where Black people were forcefully put to work on these plantations, forcefully put to build the nice buildings you're seeing today, you know, the infrastructure, all thanks to Black folk. This so-called experiment isn't just laughable, it's revealing. It shows the level of denial some people still live in when it comes to race, history, and reality. And honestly, if they want to try, let them try. You know, if they want to try the white-only towns, you know, just let us give them an opportunity to try, because the rest of us already know how that story will end. And soon, we'll be waiting to hear. The struggling, begging for government aid, and still benefiting from the very Black excellence they try to exclude. That's the real irony. You know, that's what we'll be waiting for them to do in a few months, you know, if not years. They must depend on Black people. But what do you all think, family? Do you think white-only town in 2025 can really survive without any contributions from Black people? Or is this just another doomed project built on racism and fantasy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I'm definitely ready to hear what you all will have to say about this mess. Family, thank you so much for tuning to watch these episode. I do not take your support for granted. Kindly like the video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users. I'd also request that you all do consider subscribing to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, I'd really appreciate if you all took your time to share my videos with your friends and family. Thank you, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.